Greetings everyone. We keep asking ourselves how many more tutorials can we make of PDF2ID, the best PDF to InDesign conversion tool there is. Well, we definitely can make a lot more. Well, today we're going to be talking about the difference between PDF2ID Standard and Professional. This is one of the most often asked questions, even though we have a full web page dedicated for it. So let's just jump right in. I have two InDesign applications running at present. I have InDesign CS5.5 over here on the left and InDesign CC. PDF2ID Standard is actually installed against InDesign CC. So this PDF2ID Standard over here on the left. And I have on the right PDF2ID Professional, which is installed against InDesign Creative Cloud. Okay, now basically the conversion quality between PDF2ID Standard and Professional are the same. There's really no difference in the table formatting or the way the paragraphs are formed or drop caps are captured, etc., or even, say frames are linked. But the differences that exist are mainly in the areas of speed and color space and color mapping. Okay, so there actually are three major differences. So let's just look at PDF2ID Standard on the left over here. You'll notice it says color space here, and you notice that it's grayed out, and actually it's force set to RGB. So PDF2ID Standard converts all colors to RGB space no matter what. So lab colors and CMYK colors will all become RGB. Now let's just click over here and go to PDF2ID Professional. In the case of PDF2ID Professional, if you look at the color space item over here, you'll notice it says document color space, RGB color space, CMYK color space, and lab color space. So PDF2ID Professional allows you to basically honor the entire color space of a PDF document, or you can force set it to anything. You can actually force it to RGB, CMYK, or lab, but PDF2ID Standard will force set everything to RGB. So that's the first difference. Now, the second difference is, again, let's go to PDF2ID Standard here on the left over here. We have this Enable Parallel Processing item over here. You notice that it's grayed out, but if you go to PDF2ID Professional, you can turn it on, you can turn it off. Well, what Enable Parallel Processing does is that, well, it enables, it allows PDF2ID Professional to use all computing resources inside your machine. So modern computers have, multiple cores per processor, even multiple processors per machine. And what PDF2ID Professional will do is it'll use every computing resource, so every processor and every core will be utilized by PDF2ID Professional during the conversion. So the conversion is much faster, whereas in PDF2ID Standard, it only used that one single CPU and one core. Giving you an example, if you have a 16-page PDF, for example, and you have a two-processor system and each processor has 8 cores, PDF2ID Professional will basically convert 16 pages at once, whereas PDF2ID Standard will just convert 1 page at a time. So there you go. It gives you an idea about the difference in speed. So that's the second example, second difference actually. Now we're going to the third difference, and the third difference is, let us go to the graphics options panel. The graphics options panel allows you to specify how you want your images converted. So I'm going to go to graphics options over here, and I'm going to do that the same for PDF2ID Professional. So on the left and right we have PDF2ID Standard on the left, and on the right we have PDF2ID Professional. Now in the case of PDF2ID Standard, everything is converted to RGB color space. So all of your images will be converted to RGB. You can convert to JPEG or PNG or TIFF, but everything is RGB color space no matter what. Okay? If you go to PDF2ID Professional, well, let's see, you get both RGB and CMYK color spaces. So what happens is your images that are RGB and CMYK will be honored as RGB and CMYK in the case of PDF2ID Professional, whereas in the case of PDF2ID Standard, everything will be converted to just RGB space. So that's it. These are the three major differences between PDF2ID Standard and PDF2ID Professional. We hope we were able to clarify the difference between the two editions. For users in the pre-press or graphic design, we truly recommend PDF2ID Professional, and everybody else who doesn't really care about honoring the color space to the exact component, you can use PDF2ID Standard. And that's really it for this demo, or actually tutorial more than demo. We just wanted to keep this video to the point. Again, PDF2ID has been engineered by Recosoft. And for more information, please visit us at www.recosoft.com. That's www.recosoft.com. Thank you and goodbye.